Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken to visit UK on Monday, set to discuss global issues including Ukraine conflict. Reaffirming unwavering support to Kiev, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni suggests India's role in resolving Russia-Ukraine conflict. Thousands protest in France over appointment of centre-right politician Michel Barnier as the new Prime Minister. Venezuela revokes Brazil's custody of diplomatic mission that's housing 6 Maduro opponents. Nature's fury continues. Super typhoon Yagi hits Vietnam after leaving deadly trail in southern China and the Philippines, while Bolivia declares national emergency due to forest fires. And in sports, Aryna Sabalenka wins maiden US Open title and a third Grand Slam crown after beating Jessica Pegula in straight sets. News in detail now. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken plans to travel to the United Kingdom on Monday, a week after Britain suspended some arms export licenses with Israel over equipment that could be used in the conflict in Gaza. In the trip slated to go through Tuesday, Blinken will open the US-UK strategic dialogue. Blinken will also meet with senior government officials to discuss issues including the Indo-Pacific, the AUKUS Defence Pact between the US, Australia, Britain and the Middle East, and collective efforts to support Ukraine in the conflict against Russia. Updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the annual TEHA Business Forum on Saturday. Meloni pledged unwavering support for Ukraine, in which they discussed Kiev's plans to end the conflict with Russia and reconstruction efforts. Meloni said Italy would never backtrack on its support for Ukraine, and the choice of supporting Ukraine will not change.
I believe actor nations like China and India have a role to play and must play a role to resolve the conflict in Ukraine. The only thing that cannot happen, gentlemen, is to think that the conflict can be solved by abandoning Ukraine to its fate, because that will not bring peace, it will bring chaos. It will bring wars closer to home, and it will bring many economic consequences, all the more serious than what it costs today to support Ukraine. The choice of supporting Ukraine has been first and foremost a choice of national interest, and it's a choice that won't change.
Further, Meloni underlined India's key role in resolving tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Meloni's statement comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin named India among the 3 countries he is in touch with over the Ukraine conflict. Thousands of demonstrators took to the streets across France on Saturday, fiercely opposing President Emmanuel Macron's appointment of Michel Barnier as Prime Minister. The 73-year-old Barnier, a conservative and former EU Brexit negotiator, was named by Macron despite protests from the leftist France Unbowed party. The left, led by the far left France Unbowed LFI party, has accused Macron of a denial of democracy and stealing the election after Macron refused to pick the candidate of the New Popular Front alliance that came top in July vote. Polls reveal widespread discontent, with 74% of French people believing Macron has disregarded election outcomes. As Barnier prepares to tackle significant reforms and present the 2025 budget, he faces the looming threat of a no-confidence vote in October. Updates from Venezuela now. The government of South American nation has ended Brazil's authority to represent Argentine interests in the country. In a statement, Venezuela said the decision was effective immediately and was due to proof that the embassy was being used to plan assassination attempts against President Nicolas Maduro and Vice President Delcy Rodriguez Gomez. The decision would halt Brazil's stewardship of Argentina's embassy in Caracas, which currently shelters 6 Venezuelan opposition members seeking asylum. The Brazil government soon after said it had received the communication with surprise. In a statement, Brazil insisted that it would remain in custody and defense of Argentine interests until Argentina indicates another state acceptable to Venezuela to do so. It also underscored that international law prevents local law enforcement from entering diplomatic facilities without permission. Meanwhile, Venezuelan security forces have surrounded the Argentine embassy in the capital Caracas, which is sheltering 6 Venezuelan political figures opposed to President Nicolas Maduro. The opposition members first sought shelter in the Argentine embassy in March after government prosecutors ordered their arrest on conspiracy charges. Polls closed in Algeria, where voters were deciding whether to grant army-backed President Abdelmajid Tebboune another term 5 years after pro-democracy protest prompted the military to oust the previous president after 2 decades in power. Algeria's presidential election turnout has reached 48%, an official source said early on Sunday. Preliminary results were expected later in the day. The turnout of the 2019 presidential election was 40%. Algeria is Africa's largest country by area, and with almost 45 million people, it's the continent's second most populous after South Africa to hold presidential elections in 2024, a year in which more than 50 elections are being held worldwide, encompassing more than half the world's population. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis promised to increase pensions, cut taxes and social security contributions and increase the minimum wage in 2025 as thousands rallied to protest a high cost of living. In his annual economic policy speech, he said Greece will create more jobs, increase pensions by up to 2.5% in 2025 and will raise the monthly minimum wage from €830 to €950 gradually by 2027. He added that social security contributions would be cut by 1 point. Greece is still recovering from a debt crisis that wiped out nearly a fourth of its economic output in 2009 to 2018. That included repeated wage and pension cuts. Now, Kentucky police reported an active shooter situation near Interstate 75 in London, Kentucky on Saturday evening, where numerous persons have been shot. The chaos began just before 6 p.m. local time when gunfire erupted from a wooded area, striking multiple vehicles on the interstate about 9 miles from London. Local authorities confirmed that numerous persons have been shot, prompting a shutdown of I-75. London Mayor Randall Weddell urged residents to avoid the area while the suspect remains at large. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear addressed the situation, asking the public to pray for those affected and promising more details as they emerge. Tensions remain high as law enforcement works to bring the dangerous situation under control. U.S. President Joe Biden attended a church service in Delaware Saturday as U.S. efforts continue to end the conflict in Gaza. The head of the Central Intelligence Agency, William Burns, said a more detailed ceasefire proposal would be made in the next several days. He added he was working very hard on text and creative formulas with mediators Qatar and Egypt to secure a ceasefire by finding a proposal which satisfies both parties. An urge on by beleaguered ex-President Jair Bolsonaro, tens of thousands of demonstrators from Brazil's political right took to the streets on Saturday amid a free speech tussle that has seen social media platform X suspended in the country. Arch-conservative Bolsonaro denounced the judge who ordered the suspension of X, the former Twitter, which is popular among Brazil's conservatives, as a dictator. The demonstration in Sao Paulo took place on Brazil's Independence Day in counter-programming to a military parade in the capital, Brasilia, overseen by leftist President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Now, Super Typhoon Yagi hits Vietnam after leaving deadly trail in southern China and the Philippines. At least 4 people are dead and more than a dozen others are missing after Super Typhoon Yagi hit northern Vietnam on Saturday afternoon. The storm Super Typhoon Yagi uprooted thousands of trees and swept ships and boats out to sea as it made landfall in northern Vietnam on Saturday. Yagi is the 11th typhoon of this year, has developed into a Force 17 super typhoon. Yagi was Asia's most powerful storm this year. Super Typhoon Yagi hit island districts of northern Vietnam around 6 GMT, generating winds of up to 160 km per hour near its center. Now, the Lourdes Sanctuary, a major Catholic pilgrimage site in southwestern France, was partially flooded on Friday night, forcing authorities to close its famous grotto. The flooding came as heavy rainfall swept through the Hauts department, causing rivers to overflow and prompting flood warnings across the region. The rising waters affected parts of the sanctuary, though much of the site remains accessible to visitors. Local authorities are closely monitoring the situation as further heavy rain is expected. Emergency services have been mobilized to respond to potential risk in other areas affected by the floods. Now, Bolivia declared a national emergency due to raging forest fires, the country's defense ministry announced on Saturday. Bolivia has seen the largest number of wildfires since 2010, with at least 3 million hectares have burned this year. Bolivia's firefighting forces are stretched thin and the government has called for international aid. South America is in throes of its peak fire season that spans August and September after an unusually early fire season started devastating the country in July following a drought. Brazil has also seen major blazes in cities and the Amazon rainforest is off to the worst start in 2 decades after a record drought. And hundreds of firefighters backed by planes and helicopters battle a massive forest fire in the Harz Mountains of central Germany for the second day. The blaze began in the Harz Mountains on 6 September, prompting the evacuation of about 500 hikers and other tourists from the area. The Harz Mountains, a popular destination for nature enthusiasts, are now engulfed in flames, with dense forests contributing to the rapid spread of the blaze. Firefighting teams from across the region have been mobilized to contain the fire, using both ground efforts and aerial support to battle the flames. About 150 firefighters, backed by planes and helicopters, had sought to quell the fire, but some emergency workers were forced to retreat as the blaze spread rapidly. Well, that's still to come on this edition of DD India Live. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar arrives in Riyadh to take part in the first India-Gulf Cooperation Council Foreign Ministers meeting. In Paralympics, Navdeep Singh wins historic gold medal in men's javelin F41 in Paris. And PM Modi interacts with the medalists of Paralympics 2024.
New challenges need new strategies, and technology is already impacting the way we live and we farm.
Based on the spikes and insights which our algorithms suggest, we alert the farmers or whoever the warehouse owner is about what exactly is happening in which part of your warehouse.
The weather in Meghalaya is definitely one of the center points of how we design these systems. And let's look at all of this together in terms of what is the solar irradiance that they're getting. Try and design a system that is designed to work in that situation.
It's a pretty good living. Greenhouses have improved the lives of 80 or 90% of Almerians.
Our supply chain is farm to door. We supply traders directly, bringing benefits to both.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has arrived in Riyadh, the capital and largest city of Saudi Arabia, to take part in the first India-Gulf Cooperation Council Foreign Ministers meeting. On his arrival, the minister met Saudi's Deputy Minister for Protocol Affairs, Abdul Majid Al Samari. During the visit, he is also expected to hold bilateral meetings with foreign ministers from GCC member countries. India and the GCC enjoy a deep and multifaceted relationship in areas including political, trade and investment, energy cooperation, cultural and people-to-people ties. On the second leg of the visit, External Affairs Minister will travel to Germany from 10th to 11th September. This will be his third visit as minister to Berlin. Both India and Germany share a robust strategic partnership, and Germany is one of India's prominent trading partners and among the largest foreign direct investors. The External Affairs Minister will thereafter travel to Switzerland for an official visit from 12th to 13th September. And the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, will pay an official visit to India at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. This would be the first visit of Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. He will be accompanied by several ministers from the UAE government and a business delegation. The Abu Dhabi Crown Prince will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday and hold discussions on a wide range of areas of bilateral cooperation. He will also call on the President of India. The visiting dignitary will also participate in a business forum in Mumbai on Tuesday. India and UAE share historically close and friendly ties. In recent years, the comprehensive strategic partnership between India and UAE has deepened in a wide range of areas, including political, trade, investment, connectivity, energy, technology, education and culture. The Crown Prince visit will further reinforce strong India-UAE bilateral relations and open avenues for partnership in new and emerging areas. In a tragic incident, at least 8 people died while 28 others injured when a multi-story building collapsed in North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on Saturday. Teams of India's National Disaster Response Force and State Disaster Response Force along with police and administration put all the efforts to save people trapped in debris. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took cognizance of the building collapse incident and instructed officials to hasten the relief efforts. The collapsed building, located in the Transport Nagar area of Lucknow, housed godowns and a motor workshop. The police reported that the building, constructed about 4 years ago, was undergoing some construction work at the time of the collapse. Most of the victims were working on the ground floor when the incident happened. Now, India Met Department predicted extremely heavy rainfall over in southern coastal Andhra Pradesh on Sunday. The weather agency also forecast heavy rainfall over Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura and Madhya Pradesh during the next 7 days. According to the IMD, Kerala, Maharashtra, Karnataka will also witness heavy rainfall at isolated places during the next 4 or 5 days. The Met Department estimated light to moderate rainfall over parts of West and Central India, including Delhi NCR, during the week. The 10-day-long Ganesh festival began on Saturday. The significance of the festival is unique in many ways, especially in Western Indian state of Maharashtra, as it signifies the state's vibrant culture.
The auspicious festival of Ganesh Chaturthi is being celebrated with immense enthusiasm in Mumbai. The festival, also known as Vinayak Chaturthi or Ganesh Utsav, marks the birth anniversary of Lord Ganesha and celebrated for 10 days from Chaturthi Tithi of Shukla Paksha. In Mumbai, preparations begin weeks in advance by the mandals and the people. The artists from across the country come to Mumbai to display their talents. Apart from famous mandals, the Ganapati idols are also brought to communities, offices or giant pandals where they are decorated with flowers, sweets, offerings and lights.
First time I'm here from Mangalore and I came yesterday. Today I had good darshan and all. A good experience.
I am going to visit many other Ganesh ji pandals and yeah, it's going fun and amazing.
The vibrant celebration of Ganapati has always been attracting people across religions and communities in Mumbai. The city is home to some of the most famous Ganesh mandals like Lal Baghcha Raja and GSB Seva Mandal attracting millions of devotees. Each mandal competes to create the most impressive idol and intricate decorations.
It's 10 days of celebration and it's 10 days of Ganeshotsav. Yes, we are in Mumbai and we are in at GSB, Ganesh Seva Mandal, here in Mumbai, where the Ganeshotsav can be seen at its highest. The celebrations over here have already begun since early morning. The Ganesh Lord over here, he's adorning the ornaments or even the Sinhasan that you can see. There's a gold jewelry of about more than 65 kgs. There's silver of more than 370 kgs.
India's Home Minister Amit Shah is likely to visit Mumbai to seek blessings of Lord Ganpati on Monday. Mumbai police, along with civic body, central and state agencies, are keeping a close tab on security aspects during the festival. Meanwhile, Indian Railways have already announced special trains and suspended weekly mega block for suburban services during the festival for the convenience of devotees. With Yogesh Kumar Sheetal and Shama Mishra, Bureau Report, DD India.
Now all the updates from Paris Paralympics 2024. India's para-athlete Navdeep's silver medal in the men's javelin throw F41 final was upgraded to gold medal after Iran's paid side Sadiq was disqualified on Saturday. This victory marks India's first ever gold in men's javelin F41 category. 23-year-old Navdeep, who came from Haryana, started the competition with a foul. However, he recovered with a throw of 46.39 meters in his second attempt, placing him in second place. His third attempt was a remarkable 47.32 meters, shattering the Paralympic record and putting him in the lead. Iran Sadiq then outdid Navdeep with a throw of 47.64 meters in his fifth attempt and temporarily clinched the gold. India's para-athlete Simran clinched a bronze medal in women's 200-meter T12 final at the Paris Paralympics 2024 on Saturday alongside her guide Abhay Singh. Simran clocked with a personal best time of 24.75 seconds after narrowly missing out on podium finish in 100-meter dash. The race for the gold was won by Cuba's Omar Duran Elias, who finished with a time of 23.62 seconds, while Venezuela's Paulo Alejandro Perez Lopez secured the silver with 24.19 seconds. The T12 classification in the Paralympics is designated for athletes with visual impairments. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with Paris Paralympics medalist Praveen Kumar. The Prime Minister discussed with Praveen Kumar how he took help of internet during his training, which helped him improve his performance.
आपने तो अपना पिछला रिकॉर्ड भी तोड़ा और एशिया का रिकॉर्ड भी तोड़ा है।
जी सर, जी सर।
नया एशियन रिकॉर्ड बना दिया आपने तो।
जी सर, आपको बोला था सर कि अब की बार सर गोल्ड लेके आएंगे सर।
हाँ, गोल्ड लेके आ गए आप।
जी सर।
लेकिन बहुत बड़ा काम किया है, लेकिन लोग जरूर जानना चाहेंगे कि भाई टोक्यो में सिल्वर,
जी सर,
पेरिस में गोल्ड, तो प्रवीण में ऐसी कौन सी प्रवीणता है कि इस प्रकार से प्रगति इतनी हो गई?
सर अब की बार माइंड सेट था सर कि मैं पछताना नहीं चाहता था सर कि मैं सिल्वर पर लेके जाऊं या फिर ब्रॉन्ज। बस इसी डर से सर मेरे को गोल्ड ही चाहिए था। जी सर।
जर्नी में काफी मेहनत की होगी, नया कुछ सीखे होंगे।
हाँ सर, बहुत सारी जी बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखने को मिली सर। इस 3-4 महीने पहले सर इंजरी भी हो गई थी टेक ऑफ लेग में, अब उससे भी थोड़ा हील किया। फिर वो प्रॉब्लम्स आई थी, अपने 2-3 कंपटीशन भी ख़राब हो गए थे, लेकिन हमने सारी चीज़ों को ठीक करके प्लानिंग्स की सर के साथ, सब कुछ ठीक हो गया सर।
तो सतपाल जी पूरी तरह खुश हो गए होंगे आज तो?
जी सर, जी सर।
तो आपने तो उनको बहुत बड़ी गुरुदक्षिणा दे दी।
जी सर, मेरे साथ में ही बैठे हुए हैं सर।
नहीं, सतपाल जी ने बहुत मेहनत की है आपके पीछे, तो मैं उनको भी बधाई देता हूँ। अच्छा, आप इंटरनेट का भी उपयोग करते थे सीखने के लिए?
जी सर, मैं यूट्यूब वगैरह पे और ये ऑनलाइन साइट्स पे जाके मैं देखता रहता था।
और उसके विषय में सतपाल सतपाल जी से भी चर्चा वगैरह करते थे?
जी सर, हम साथ में ही देखते थे। सर हमें बता देते थे कि ऐसे ऐसे करना है, फिर मैं देखता था, फिर मैं सर को बताता था, सर से पूछता था, फिर वो सारा सही से मेरे को बता देते थे, समझा देते थे कि ये ऐसे है, ऐसे है।
चलिए, आपने पूरे देश का नाम रोशन किया है, उत्तर प्रदेश का नाम रोशन किया, नोएडा का नाम रोशन किया।
जी सर।
और सतपाल जी की मेहनत पर आपने 4 चांद लगा दिए हैं।
जी सर, उन्हीं की दुआ है सर। उन्होंने बनाया।
आपको और सतपाल जी दोनों को मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई है।
जी सर, थैंक यू सर।
US Open now. Belarusian Aryna Sabalenka beat American 6th seed Jessica Pegula 7-5, 7-5 in the US Open women's final on Saturday. While number 2 Sabalenka triumphed 7-5, 7-5 to add the New York title to her back-to-back Australian Open victories. Pegula went down fighting, however, recovering from 0-3 and break point down to lead 5-3 in the second set before Sabalenka came through. The 26-year-old from Belarus clubbed 40 winners to become the first woman since Angelique Kerber in 2016 to capture both hardcourt majors in the same season. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile application. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.